Hello, everyone, and welcome to the draft analysis for the UNPL Winter Wildcard. I'm Zan, coach of the San Diego Hydras, and I know I tried to kind of pivot the channel to getting good at random things lately. Unfortunately, I got really obsessed with Deadlock, so I ended up just playing a lot of that. I'm not very good, to be honest, so I didn't really feel like uploading it just because getting good means actually getting good at it, and I feel like I improved, learned the basics. Doesn't matter. We're back to Pokemon for now because UNPL invited me back. And honestly, I wouldn't have come back, but they're playing my favorite tier, which is insanely low tier. It's so good. So let me go over the rules, just a couple of the rules real quick. There were a ton of like groups that went, and I'm also recording this super like early slash late. So sorry if I'm a little all over the place. Um, there was like 3 Wi-Fi groups, 2 showdown groups. So this is a lot of people playing, but the draft boards were cut into 8-person groups so that people can kind of get more creative with their teams. There's a lot of restrictions. It's super duper low tier. So just to give you an idea of where we're at, the 20-point tier, which is the most expensive Pokemon, are Bruxish, Frostmoth, Frostlass, Quillfish, the Hisuian form, both Sneasels, and Ursaring. That's the top tier. So that should tell you just how low we are. Like the highest tier Tera captains you could take are like Ariados, Dedenne, Ivysaur, Metang, Seviper, things like that. So we're super, super in the weeds with the low tiers. I love this format. I think it's one of the best we can do. So we're gonna go through our team. You can pick 10 to 12 Pokemon. There were a lot of restrictions, like a lot of Quiver Dance bans, a lot of Shell Smash bans. I did not take any Pokemon that have any of those restrictions, so no worries there. We're just gonna go through our team. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I hope you are too. We're gonna try to make this nice, short, sweet, because we got a battle coming up tomorrow, and I want to refamiliarize myself with the team after the holidays. So we were pick number 5 in this draft, and I kind of instantly knew what I wanted. None of those 20 points that we just went over really spoke to me, but what did was 19-point Primeape. And the reason I like Primeape so much, actually I like Primeape for a lot of reasons, but the reason I really like it is, as far as I know, Rage Fist is not banned or restricted at all on this Pokemon. So I am allowed to run an insanely overpowered move in a meta where Pokemon are not hitting very hard. So I'm super excited to take multiple hits, really boost up my Rage Fist. Primeape has a really good speed stat for this. I kind of made a spreadsheet of all the Pokemon so you can kind of see where their speed stats stand. And the fastest were like around the 120s, and there were only a few above 110. So that base 95 is really good. We've got Drain Punch and Close Combat. We can run Eviolite or Choice Scarf or Choice Band or Life Orb. We've got the Bulk Up we can set up, but we can also just run a lot of power. We've got moves like U-Turn to help us pivot, and this is a okay Stealth Rocker if we really want to put it on Primeape. So I do like it a lot. I think Defiant and Vital Spirit are both really good abilities to have, not being put to sleep or punishing your opponents for defogging or otherwise like intimidating you. Really, really nice to have. And because it's the Gen 1 Pokemon, coverage is fantastic. So I just think Primeape is one of the best fightings in the tier. Just the fact that it has Eviolite, Rage Fist, and all the moves it has makes it so, so good. I thought it was very well worth the round 1. A few more picks go, and the next thing I pick up is Dodrio. I will say I did forget a couple things about Dodrio when I drafted it. It was 17 points, so still very expensive. I forgot it doesn't get U-turn, and I forgot all 3 of its abilities are relatively useless. I think its best ability is like Early Bird, and the other 2 just don't do anything. But cool thing about Dodrio is it is insanely fast and strong for this tier. And if I've learned one thing for my time in low tier, it's that nobody has good bird switch ends. So the fact that I can just be spamming Choice Banded or Choice Scarf Brave Birds with Dodrio with very little to stand against it is really nice. I feel like I can trade this Pokemon out 2 for 1 a lot of weeks. And there's some other fun stuff you can do with it too. It's got just enough coverage. It's got Swords Dance. It's got ways to boost its stats otherwise. So I thought this was a really inexpensive round 2. I know there's a lot of normal flyings around, but I just thought this one made the most sense to me because that 110 base speed is just too good to pass up in this low tier. And then for round 3, we have Toedscruel. So when we're talking roll compression, I think Toedscruel is fantastic at it. This was 15 points, and it's a rapid spinner. It is a really fast earth power user. It has decent enough coverage in like poison, and its grass coverage is great. and it has knockoff, it has rapid spin. Like I said, its utility is just almost unmatched in the tier. Only real problem is its ice weakness and its mycelium might, so we're not going to be able to use fast spores. If we run hazards or anything, we're going to be slow with those, but I think that's okay. I think we can deal. And that 110 base or 100 base speed is still outspeeding most things, so we can run this as more of an offensive or fast utility a lot of the weeks that we bring it, so I like that a lot. And spore is just really nice to have, putting things to sleep, and we've covered our spikes and our toxic spikes by having Toedscruel, so really excited to have that on the team. But honestly, it was kind of just there to check a lot of boxes for me, so I do worry a little bit about that quad ice weakness, but I do think we can make it work. Next up, I got Houndoom, and honestly, I wasn't super excited with this pick, but I thought it was too good to pass up in the tier. Fire types and dark types that are strong are relatively hard to come by. Once again, 95 base speed. If you notice a trend, all 4 of my top 4 Pokemon are 95 base speed or higher, so really, really fast straight out the gate, hoping to outspeed and overwhelm my opponents. Houndoom is really annoying for a lot of people to deal with because of fire, dark, and poison coverage. It can run Nasty Plot. In low tier, it can actually run Mixed a lot more successfully because that base, I think 90 attack is just really, really solid. Gives me a fire immunity to help out Toedscruel a little bit if we want to run it like that. And honestly, its special defense isn't even that bad, so we could run a more Spadef type Houndoom. I know that sounds kind of weird. I know most of the time it's going to be just here to break with something like Specs or Life Orb, but we can run it as more of a utility Pokemon if we really need to. Spread burns, do damage, get in, get out. So really excited to have that. I just thought it made too much sense for my team, especially because some of the other things I was planning further down, like the Misdreavus. Pick 5 Misdreavus, only 13 points. Houndoom was 14. I just thought this guy was too good to pass up, although I was a little bit split. So the Oricorio forms are broken apart in this league, but Sensu Oricorio is just so good, the Ghost Flying one. The problem is the flying typing. I already have a Dodrio. I already have some weaknesses. I have quite a bit of weakness to ice, so adding another ice weakness wasn't great. So I thought Misdreavus made more sense. Gives us another Eviolite user. Is definitely bulkier with that Eviolite than Oricorio would have been, but it is slightly slower. And it doesn't get defog like Oricorio does. It doesn't get U-turn like Oricorio does. So I did make some trade-offs, but I do think having more coverage, having that Draining Kiss is nice with the Calm Mindsets. We've got the Will-O-Wisp. I do think Oricorio or Misdreavus brings enough to the table to be competitive over Oricorio. So I do like it quite a bit here, but that is a potential transaction if we are hurting for hazard removal. I just think it's a really good Pokemon. It's really bulky, can easily win games, and base 85 speed on a defensive Pokemon is really nice to have. And speaking of hazard removal, well, her pick 6 was Quaxwell, and when I was looking at the board, I thought there were a lot of Pokemon I liked. I've actually been planning the next 2 picks since like pick 3. I really wanted to use both of them, but Quaxwell was something I really wanted to grab up because it is a 10-point rapid spinner. I knew a lot of my opponents would probably want it because it is just so good at the one thing it does. So I just decided, why don't I just swipe it? It takes some of the pressure off of Toedscruel to remove hazards, because I could run Toedscruel as like AV or like something more offensive if I wanted one week. And then I could have spin on Quaxwell on the team as well. This is our 3rd Eviolite user, so not great, but if you looked at the other teams, you'd see that most teams have over half of their Pokemon or near half of their Pokemon something that can use Eviolite. So I think it's not the end of the world. But definitely something we want to watch out for because knockoff spam is going to be very prevalent. But Quaxwell, not quite as good as Quacklevolt, which I've used multiple times and absolutely love because we don't have things like the Aqua Step. I don't think we get some of the big coverage that Quacklevolt gets, but we get the spin, we get the flip turn, we get the other water coverage, we get triple axle. I think we get low kick, and we get roost. So that is enough to make Quaxwell worth running, in my opinion. And I'm glad we got to snipe it from our opponents. Next up, our first Tera Captain, we get 20 total Tera points, and they have to be 10 or lower. Dedenne, 10 points. Huge, because it is once again in that high speed tier with 101. Outruns everything 100 and lower, and I absolutely love that about it. Its base stats are incredibly unimpressive, but actually in the 80s, special attack, I think 81, mixed with a choice specs or any kind of boosting item, suddenly makes it do a lot more damage than you would think this little guy could do. We didn't have any electric type. We didn't have a fairy type. So Dedenne fills us in with both, and we also have that Tera. I think most of the time with Dedenne, it'll probably be either something that helps us out against the ground types or helps us hit the ground types. But we also just have our base stab Teras if we really want to spam moves. And then kind of bread and butter, we also have more of a utility Super Fang U-turn Citrus Berry Cheek Pouch set if we really wanted to run that one week. So I think this guy can do a lot for us. He kind of helps us kind of deter just dragon spam against us. Not that there are that many dragons, but just in case. I do like Dedenne as a Tera Captain a lot. I thought it was kind of the best on the board just given the speed and the typing. Next up, pick 8. We have one I was super excited about. Tera Porygon 1. Not Porygon 2. It was banned. I love the Porygon line, and I think Porygon 2 is probably my favorite of the 3. But Porygon 1 fills the role just as well in low tier because its stats are still surprisingly good. It's still very bulky with Eviolite. Eviolite Pokemon number 4, I know. But it is so good with the coverage it gets, recovery, Trick Room, and enough utility to play around, along with 3 absolutely amazing abilities. We get the Analytic if we want to just be slow and do more damage. We get the Download. We can run Mixed in low tier. Base 60 attack suddenly doesn't look so bad when everything is so weak. And then we have Trace if we really want to get tricky, take some of our opponent's strong abilities. And with Tera, we can become any type we want and be super, super bulky and super annoying and strong. So just Porygon just seemed like the absolute best Tera Captain on the board, not even looking at the other Pokemon, because it's not even in tier 10. It's a tier 8 or an 8-pointer. So we still have 2 points going into the end of this. I had 14 points total. So mathing. How do I get a 2-pointer and a 12-pointer in? And I kind of looked at the board, looked at what I had on my team. I only have Primeape as a stealth rocker right now. I only have Toedscruel as my other hazards. So I thought, why not pick up one of the most consistent hazard setters of all time in Golem. The sturdy rocker is here, but also pressures a lot with the classic weakness policy sturdy rock polish set, which is just incredible in low tier. Base 130 attack, I think, is just too good to pass up. So I'm really excited to see it hopefully do work. We have a lot of coverage, just like all the Gen 1 Mons get. I think this makes 4 Gen 1 Pokemon we have, which is pretty cool. That kind of sad they're all in low tier, but cool to see Primeape, Dodrio, Porygon, and Golem on the same team in a Gen 9 draft. So really looking forward to this. I know it's more straightforward. I wanted to get a sturdy rocker just because they at least are consistent in this tier. I was gonna make it a cheap Pokemon, but then I ended up deciding I didn't really want it to be my 2-pointer, so why not make it my 12-pointer and give it something else to do than just set rocks all the time. Finally, 2 points left. We got the Shroodle. So if you know me, you know I love normal types. And so I doubled up on normal types. I almost tripled up. I forget what else was on my mind. No, I did triple up. I have Dodrio, Porygon, and Shroodle. So there's our triple normal core, favorite type, best type in the game. And our Shroodle is a Tera Captain. I don't anticipate it Tera-ing that often. But for 2 points, getting our Grounded Poison locked down, and getting a Pokemon with Parting Shot Encore on a Prankster Pokemon, as well as some decent coverage and some other utility that might be tricky. I think it was well worth the cost and a great way to round out our 10-mon team. We could have went up to 12 Pokemon. I decided to cut it at 10. We don't need any more. I think every Pokemon on this team is fantastic, and I think we can do a ton of work this season. So without further discussion, I suppose, tell me what you think about the team in the comments below. Tell me how you think we'll do this season. Uploads are going to go up once a week on Saturdays, so I will see you in future weeks. And I hope you enjoyed the draft analysis. I hope you enjoy the battles. I will see you again soon.